Our next guest is a rising star when it comes to crime fiction. The Good Cop is the fourth book in Brad Park's award-winning series and is told through the eyes of a sometimes dashing investigative reporter named Carter Ross. Brad joins us now to tell us all about it. Sometimes dashing?
Sometimes dashing.
What's
He's not perfect.
No, okay. Let's talk a little bit about your background, Brad. I know you're from Connecticut.
That's right. Yeah, I grew up in Ridgefield, Connecticut. My grandmother still lives in Guilford, so
That's
this
great.
is very familiar territory.
She watches
for
Connecticut
me.
style.
Absolutely.
When did you first start writing professionally?
So I was 14 years old, and I saw an ad in the Ridgefield Press in Ridgefield, Connecticut, and it said sports writers needed. And I figured out that it paid 50 cents a column inch, which meant I could make more money writing sports than I could babysitting.
Ah, there you go.
Good gig, I'll tell you.
So from that, it kind of led you to a career in journalism?
Right, right. So I was a sports writer, and I kind of kicked the whole bucket list of sports you could ever want to cover, the Masters, the Super Bowl, you name it. And then I switched over to news side. And my first assignment as a news side reporter was a quadruple homicide.
Oh,
Four people left for dead in a vacant lot.
Got it.
Which is how the fiction career started, actually.
I see. And it was a year later that you published your first novel, Faces of the Gone.
Right, which was based on this homicide that I covered.
That actually happened.
I made up everything else. So I took this as the fictional basis, and then, or as the real basis, and then everything else from there is fiction. Like, for example, the main character, who's about 6'1", about 185 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. Wears, really boring, plain clothing, stiff white guy. I don't know where I came up with the inspiration for him. This is fiction. Don't try this at home.
All right, all right. So next we had Eyes of the Innocent and The Girl Next Door.
Correct.
Same idea, though?
Same characters, yeah, same setting. And they are, they're kind of a mix of gritty realism because, it's crime fiction. We got to drop some bodies, but then also some fun. The newsroom setting is, of course, everybody's always cracking jokes and everybody's having a good time.
Sure.
And of course, Carter, part of the sometimes dashing is things get a little bumbling at times.
Oh, really?
And he's not exactly the world's greatest sleuth. He's not one of these genius types who never makes an error. He goes down some wrong roads and gets himself in trouble quite a bit.
All right, and that's going to lead us up to your fourth book, The Good Cop. That's the newest one. If you could give us a little bit of the background without kind of giving it away.
Right, so this starts with the death of a police officer, which is big news, and Carter charges out to do the reporting, except it turns out the death is ruled a suicide.
Okay.
But Carter Ross knows this is not the case and starts investigating, even though everybody else wants to cover it up. And then we learn very quickly about this shadowy gun syndicate that is bringing in guns, and things go from there.
All right, I know you have two favorite characters in the book.
Right.
Tell us about that.
Well, so I was walking along in Newark, New Jersey one day, and when you're a stiff white guy in Newark, New Jersey, people
what
are
were you doing over there, Brad?
Well, that's where I was a reporter. So I had this guy come up to me, he's like, "Yo, man, you want some boots?" And
boots?
Yeah, boots.
Okay.
And I was thinking this is slang for some drug I've never heard of before. I'm like, "No, thank you, friend." He's like, "I don't do drugs." And he said, no, man, boots. Nancy Reagan told me to just say no, it's okay. He's like, "No, man, boots, the things you wear on your feet." Well, so it turned out this guy had a hustle where he was collecting old Timberlands. He'd send them back to the manufacturer, and they'd give him new boots that he'd then sell on the streets.
Oh, what a racket he had going, huh?
What a great racket. And I thought, this is hysterical. I need to put it in a book someday. Except I changed it up so it's not a guy in Newark. It's these two old Jewish men who have this as their racket. One is named Uncle Bernie. Uncle Bernie was something in 1954, I'll tell you. And then there's his brother Gene, who's a little bit dour. Uncle Bernie and Gene, every scene they're in, they steal. They're just a lot of fun.
All right, sounds good. Well, where can people find this book? It sounds very interesting.
Well, wherever fine books are sold, or I will be at R.J. Julia, the bookseller in Madison.
Oh, sure.
7 o'clock tonight, as a matter of fact. So anybody can come out, meet me, hear more bad stories. We'll have a good time.
Sounds fun. Brad, what's next on tap for you?
Well, there will be another Carter Ross coming out next year. Yeah, the series is. I have small children to feed. We need to keep this series going.
You have college education, right?
Exactly.
All right. Well, we are going to put all the information up on the screen. The name again of the book is The Good Cop. It's the fourth one in the series, right? Yes. Very good, Brad. Thanks for being here.
Thanks very much for having me.
All right. Up next, it's time to get your Irish up for MS. We'll give you all the details right after the break. Stick around.